The building starts now. All right, everybody, wait, let me take a look and see. Yep, everybody stood still right now. A few people are up in the air flying. They have already started to begin. They have already started to begin. Forza, I believe, is going to be working on the floor. So Forza is actually starting out on the tiles right here. Considering this is a big task to be able to do, if someone wants to help out Forza with the floor as well, that would also be great. I think Doge is working on the stage, I believe. Let me take a look and see. No more usernames for now, by the way, guys. No more usernames. No more usernames for now. I'm actually, thank you for the donation. Can you play my map when it's done? Me and my friends were worked really hard on it. It's almost done. Well, if it's almost done, you gotta have your map completely done. I've had so many cases where people have been like, hey, I have a map, but it's halfway done and it's full of bugs and stuff like that, and it's a work in progress. And believe me when I say, some people have actually used that as an excuse to be able to be like, oh, come revisit my map. Revisit my map. Hey, I've added a small new room. Revisit my map. You know, all that kind of stuff. So it's a little bit tricky to be able to do repeat maps and stuff like that. So, also, we're not doing build mode maps today. We're doing this. We're doing this. Okay, so I already see how the structure is. See, the very beginning of this is going to be difficult because no one knows where to start building yet. But now that you guys have a foundation, holy crap! Oh my god! You guys built this tile flooring super quickly. Wait, do you have multiple people working on the tile flooring? Do you actually have multiple people working on the tile flooring? Because that's actually a pretty good idea. You guys are knocking this out really quickly. I recommend... Hold on a second. Hold on. You can use this as a little bit of a grid lining, like a planning area. But I recommend laying out like a little grid so you guys can see like a quick outline of where... What? What's wrong with the space plate? Wait, why was I not able to place anything down? Oh, you guys are making the windows and stuff like that. Okay, alright, I'm gonna delete this then. Okay, so in order for me to make the new animatronic, we gotta wait for an office. We gotta wait for the office to start forming here. What happened to this guy? Is this guy napping on the job? He's just completely stuck here. How does that even happen? How does that even happen? How do you fly going... I mean, I guess you can tilt this way, but for those who don't know, when you're flying, you're not... You can't see when people are flying. How is this guy napping on the floor like this? Okay, well anyways, all aside from being lazy on the job here, let's go ahead and move on. Let me take a look and see. Let me see. I know the layout of the restaurants are too late to join. Unfortunately, it is. Ooh, I like how you're doing the sides of the walls here, where you're doing the same checkered pattern. Pretty cool stuff. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work on the animatronic. Oh wait, do they have stairs? Wait, wait, hold on a second. They're building Pirate Cove here. Wait, is the stage facing this way, or is it facing this way? Wait a minute, hold on a second. Are the animatronics, are they not even facing the customers? I don't know, something's a little bit off there. Something seems like a little bit off. Okay, alright, so I'm gonna start building out the office, considering I have to wait anyways. So what I'm gonna do, oh, you guys are starting to build the hallways. Oh, look how meticulous you guys are getting. Okay, you know what? I might as well help out then. If this gets me fast, what is wrong with this base plate? Someone must have misplaced this base plate or something like that because, yeah, thank you. We don't even need a base plate. Yeah, because someone must have, okay, so for those who don't know, there's a little bug in build mode. There's a little bug where if two different people move something at the same time, it janks the hitbox of the base plate, and it makes it unselectable. So if you guys can, please don't do that, because then it really messes things up to like the highest degree possible. Okay, all right, I'm gonna build some tiles here, and where should we have the office? I think we'll have the office starting to go in from here. I think this hallway is about long enough. I'll build it just a little bit further, but then we can build into here and we'll be good. Yeah, again, you guys don't have to necessarily follow the FNAF 1 rule, but you guys are looking real good so far. You guys have some real good stuff so far. Okay, let me go ahead and do this. Let me go ahead and put some more stuff here. Let me take a look and see. I'm going crazy without the search bar. Oh yeah, because Epic Tank is used to his build mode concept game. For those who don't know, Epic Tank has he's been programming in his own build mode events and stuff like that. Dude, you guys are like, it's almost like this map is being automatically generated based on how fast this is going. This is actually crazy. Okay, all right. Wait, is this supposed to be the office? Or is this supposed to be just like the center wall area? Well, we'll find out right now. If they make this hollow, this is the office. If they make this thing completely filled up, then this is, oh, I think this is the office. How many walls high? Right about here? That should be good. Yeah, okay, this is the office. Oh, so the animatronics can go around too. Okay, that's actually pretty interesting. Okay, so for this new animatronic, it actually does require a vent. It requires a vent. So in order to be able to do this, I need to go ahead and, oh yeah, wait, hold on a second. Hold on. I haven't revealed to you guys the new animatronic yet. I haven't revealed to you guys what the new animatronic is supposed to be yet. Yeah, maybe I should have done that. All right, you guys want to know what it is? All right, I'm going to call him in right now. All right, animatronic, reveal yourself. All right, the animatronic is joining in, and it's Molten Freddy. You can see he's got like all the piles of wires and whatnot. So we're going to be basing this on the Molten Freddy that you see in Ultimate Custom Night based on listening for him in the vents and whatnot. And it's going to be exciting stuff. So we're going to be using this player ID for the Molten Freddy. You can see how cool this guy looks here. Let me stand right here. There we go. But yeah, you can see there's Molten. Oh wait, it's a little bit dark. Let me face this way. There we go. It's a lot better. Wait, everyone stand off the base plate for a second so I can get a clear view of the Molten Freddy. Wait, everyone, back off for a second. Here. If you want, there you go. Okay, cool. Yeah, you can see, here is our Molten Freddy, everybody. Look how nice this looks. It really took a long time to nail how I can get, like, the pile of wires effect. But I think I did just fine. And you can see, we got ourselves a Molten Freddy. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this to good use then. I'm gonna go ahead and make the character leave. All we need from him is the ID anyways. And we're gonna go ahead and do this. So, you guys can go ahead and build out the doors and stuff like that if you want. I'm gonna work on the Molten Freddy. Okay, so, how do we get Molten Freddy to work in a Five Nights at Freddy's map? Well, I can't wait to show you guys. I'm gonna be showing it off right now. So the first thing we need is we need an actual vent. Now I am going to use a little bit of a trick here to make a very cool looking vent. Or should I say, a vent door. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the powered door. I'm going to center it by doing this. Just like that. And I'm going to raise this up a little bit just so that we can build some blocks here. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise this up by 1. Actually, wait, hold on a second. Let me raise this down by 1. And then I'm going to build this up by 1 high. So basically what I'm doing right now is I'm making a very small, narrow opening, just like this. Exactly what you would imagine a vent would look like. Now when we lower the door in here, you can see this is going to act as our vent door. And we're using an actual powered door that has an animation that opens and closes. And it's gonna look really, really nice. And a little, you don't have to do this, but a little nice detail that I like to add on to here is I like to go over to the vent shaft, turn this upside down like this, and put it here. And you can see it adds a little bottom area here. It does flicker a little bit, so if you don't want something like that, you can totally remove it, and it'll still look just fine. And you won't need to worry, by the way, because we won't have the animatronics coming out of here. We're going to make it act just like Ultimate Custom Night, where essentially, Molten Freddy, you only hear him by voice. And he'll spawn in the office, of course, if you leave the vent open too long. And that's where the trader NPC comes in. So, we got ourselves our vent right here. I'm going to keep this very dark. So, I want to make it look like it's fading into darkness. So, what I want to do is, I'm going to go over to black, just like this. I'm going to go over to the transparency block. And I'm essentially going to do this. So, now, if I move this out of the way, it starts to look like it fades into darkness here. That's what it ends up looking like. Now, I actually do want to have it where there's a realistic looking vent going through here. So, I'm going to, especially if you guys are going to be having cameras and stuff like that, we're going to be doing stuff like this. Now, I do want to make sure that it goes to full black. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a full black block there. And I'm going to seal up the rest of the vent here. And what that is going to end up looking like from the POV of the players is going to look like this. It looks like this really dark and creepy vent that you have no idea what's down it. It especially looks like that in FNAF 6 as well, pizzeria simulator. Alright, we can basically close this up. We can put the door here and we're all good. And we're going to take the vent and put it up here. Now, it is a little bit tricky because some people are building here as well, so I'm going to make it look like the vent is going upwards. This isn't the cleanest looking vent, of course, but we're worried about just making the map for now. That's all we're worried about for right about now. And then we'll have the vent look like it's going up here. This is the biggest, fattest vent you guys will ever see, but we have just made it, and that's okay. So you can see the vent's going up and up like this. And that'll basically go into the ceiling. Okay, you can see people here are working on, you see you got yourself a pirate cove here. You got yourself, people are doing monitor offsets for detailing and stuff like that. Super cool. You got its own separate room here. Let me see. Bathroom door. Oh, okay. Epic Tank is working on something here too. Welcome to, oh, is he working on a sign? Yeah, I think he's working on some kind of pizzeria sign. Oh, that's actually really cool. All right, let's see. Grandmaster here is working on the doors. He's working on the controls and the power. Really good stuff. By the way, if you guys want to learn how to make your own power systems, advanced animatronics, make sure you go check out the channel. I got some very easy tutorials on there. And you guys will make some advanced FNAF maps that will impress your friends. So check them out. Okay, all right, so let's go ahead and move back on to Molten Freddy. So we want Molten Freddy to go through a certain maze of vents before he reaches the vent door. And we want him to make his laugh. When he reaches the vent door, we want him to make a laughing sound effect. So where do we go for sound effects, everybody? Does anybody know? Well, I'm going to show you guys right now. Where do we go for sound effects? So if you're ever looking for build mode sound effects that you can use in sound blocks, super easy. All right, watch this. You click on Create, Marketplace, Audio, and then you click this little thing up here and you click Include Unverified Creators. And now, if we look up something like FNAF 6, look at this. You got yourself a whole host of sound effects. Alfred, unfortunately, it is a bit late for that, unfortunately. But you can see here, we got ourselves a whole host. Doo-doo. We got ourselves a whole host of them, everybody. Yes, we do. All of the, let me pause the stream music so you guys can hear. You guys, and I'm a little bit stuttery today. And as you can see, you got the real sound effects, baby. Yes, you do. Every single one of them. Jump scare, sorry for the lack of a jump scare warning. You got all those set up there. Now, we're looking for Molten Freddy. Molten Freddy. Now, sometimes the searches are going to be a little bit wonky. Molten Freddy completed salvage. Not that one, but we might use that as a wait a minute. Molten Freddy laugh. Wait, I think we got it. That's the one. That's the one from Ultimate Custom Night. And isn't this just great? Isn't this just absolutely amazing that we have these sound effects that we can use in Piggy build mode? So we're going to double click. We're going to copy this ID. We're going to go ahead and move this aside for now in case we need it later. We're going to go back in the game. I'm going to turn the stream music back on. And we got our sound effect. Yes, we do. So we're going to go over to links. We're going to take the powered sound block. We're going to click on this. We're going to make it loud so that players are able to realistically hear it. Sound ID, we're going to check that on. We're going to turn looped off. We got that all set up. And we're all good. So we got our Molten Freddy laughing sound effects. So we got that all set up here. There's no sound. No sound. We couldn't hear it. We can't hear the sound. Are you guys not able to hear the sound? Huh? Ernie, there's no music playing? There's no music playing. What? Hold on. Oh my god. The sound wasn't even playing. Oh my god. Okay, alright. Sorry about that. It was unchecked on here. Okay, there we go. Okay, alright. You guys should be able to hear everything now. So now, Take a listen to this. All right, one more time. There's the laughing sound effect. All right, let me go ahead and put this back in. All right, everything should be working now. Music's too loud. Woo. Yeah, that music is too loud. Woo. That music is way too loud. Way too loud. Thank you. Okay. All right. One more time. In case this wasn't horrifying enough. There it is. Okay, all right, so we're all set back up on here. Cool, we're good to go. All right, I think we're good. Yeah, thank you. I've been fiddling with a lot of new audio systems and whatnot, which is kind of what we're doing right now. We're fiddling with all this. Okay, so how do we get this to work? How do we get Molten Freddy to move through the vents? How do we get him to function and reach the office? Well, considering he's going to be hidden, we don't actually have like a vent radar or anything like that. I don't think he's trackable on the vent radar. Plus, it would be too narrow to be able to build a little vent radar here. So just for time's sake, I'm gonna leave out the vent radar for now, because all you really have to do is wait for him to make the laugh, and then you can close it. You don't even need the vent radar. So that saves me a little bit of trouble, but it's also just a feature most players aren't gonna end up using after the first few tries. Okay, so let's go ahead and get Molten Freddy to move throughout the vents. So the first thing we want to do is we need to have the players spawn in. So we're going to have the players obviously spawn in here. Now, we want to start off and kick off some events when the game starts. So what we're going to do, and for those who don't understand what I'm talking about, I'll show you guys in a second. We're going to put this here. So when the players spawn in, this touch trigger will activate certain events, such as starting animatronic timers, starting the power, blah, 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 everything like that. So we're going to go ahead and make sure that only survivors set this up, stay on forever after touching. And we're going to go ahead, we're going to go under here, and we're going to put down a link hub. And we're going to directly do this. Now, a big mistake that people end up making is they'll end up taking their starting touch trigger like this, and they'll start linking it to a bunch of different things. And then, boom! Max cap of 10, and then they run out of space, right? So they'll link up to 10 different things, and because this only links up to 10 different things, they instantly run out of room. Very bad. Don't do that. So you take this, you link it up to here, and bam, you got like up to 1,000 links, I believe. So you're all set up and good to go. All right, so let's set up our Molten Freddy system. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just take a Molten Freddy looking color and texture and put a little base plate under here. And this little base plate is going to basically give us plenty of room to work with here. That way we're not putting a bunch of links all over the place, and we have an easier time organizing everything. And in fact, the best way to organize links so that links don't end up becoming confusing for you guys, I'm going to go ahead and show that right now. Let me go ahead and get this. Is you put down a note. First, you take a note like this. You place it down. You rotate it. And then you just put start. This is where the link starts. And you automatically, before anything else, you put down a link hub. That's all you need to know. So, we're going to go ahead and have the, this starting link hub here. From the player start, which kicks off all the events, we're going to have it kick off the Molten Freddy event. So basically what we're telling the game is, hey game, when players spawn in here, I want you to start up the Molten Freddy sequence. So players spawn in, they touch the touch trigger, goes over to here, and it'll start up the Molten Freddy sequence, which we'll be talking about right now. Okay, alright, so how do we get Molten Freddy to work? Well, we want to have it where after a certain amount of time of him being in the vents, he'll end up spawning at the vent door. So how do we do something like that? Well, we can have ourselves a little bit of a looper here. I believe a little bit of a looper. Anytime I'm making a new animatronic, by the way, I usually have to figure some things out on my own as well. So we're doing this process together, but I have a good idea of how to get him to work. I have a pretty good idea. All right, so I have an idea of having it where he appears at the vent door at different times. You see, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. It would be too predictable if he came to the vent door like every 30 seconds. Because then players are going to sit there and they're going to be like, Oh yeah, let me just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 28, 29, 30. Okay, let me shut the vent door. Yeah, we don't want something like that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use a randomizer gate, and I'm gonna hook it up to 3 different timers here. And it's gonna be set to these settings so that it only chooses 1 timer at a time to choose. So we'll have something like 30 seconds. We'll have something like 45 seconds. And then we'll have something like 60 seconds. And those will be varying times at which Molten Freddy can approach the door. So you have to be very careful and very alert for when he appears. Now, we have our randomizer gate and we have our times. We got those all set up. Now, you guys are probably wondering, what about the starting area here? So this just links up and it automatically selects a time? Well, here's the thing. This touch trigger is set to stay permanently turned on, which means this will permanently stay turned on as well because it's linked to here. Now, we don't want something to be permanently turned on because otherwise Molten Freddy will only show up once. How do we get him to show up multiple times throughout a night? How do we do something like that? We'll get to that. We'll get to that. So, how do we get it where Molten Freddy approaches the door? Well, after this certain amount of time, considering that all of these timers will have the same exact result of Molten Freddy showing up to the door, we're going to link it to the same exact link hub. Now, you're probably wondering, why even have all 3 of these timers if they lead to the same thing? It's because they have different times. It just picks a random time. So in other words, at one point, he can arrive within 30 seconds, and then he appears. At another point, he can arrive within 45 seconds, and then he appears. And at another point, he can arrive at 60 seconds and appear at the door. So it's a really just a small thing, but it's something that's really helpful if you guys want to make some really good stuff here. Okay, so we got Molten Freddy, and he's going to be at our door, right? So once he reaches our door, we want to make sure he plays the sound effect. So we're going to play the sound effect of laughing. We're going to be doing that. So he's going to be playing the sound effect of laughing. All right. Okay. All right. So the vent door is going to be closed. Now, we want to make sure that this timer ends up getting reset. Now, when you keep these turned on, if this loses power, it'll reset the timer. So that's exactly something we want. So what we're going to do is we're going to take an XOR gate. We're going to link this directly to here and link the XOR gate to the randomizer. Now, because of bugs in the past, I'm going to be very careful, and I'm just going to do the extra step of putting a link hub connecting it directly to here. Just in case. Let me delete this one. And putting it directly through here. So that's going to be, that's going to end up acting as our shutdown. So essentially, when we have another power source going into here, in other words, us closing the vent, it'll shut off Molten Freddy. However, there's a problem. There is a bit of a problem here. If I'll show you guys in just a second here, but first let's go ahead and close off our door. Let's go ahead and make it so that this vent door is closable. So we're gonna go over to the button right about here, and we're gonna link this button directly up to the door, and we'll have the button hold for about 5 seconds. Let's say about 5 seconds, enough, or actually about 2 seconds. 2 seconds should be good. It doesn't really matter that much, as long as it gets rid of Golden Freddy. Golden Freddy, I mean Molten Freddy. Okay, alright, so, and we're gonna have our button linked directly up to this gate. Now, what's the problem here? Now, what this would normally do is if, let's just say, you know, the game starts, powers this, goes here, picks a random time, and Molten Freddy is at our door. He is at the vent door. Now, what's gonna happen? Well, if we press this vent button, this will disable the timers. It'll shut down all of this. And it'll make it to where he goes away. It'll make him go away. But what's the problem with that? The problem is, if a timer is passively running and he hasn't shown up yet, and someone presses the vent button, he'll prematurely go away. So we don't want something like that. We want it to where only when he gets here, this can be shut off. So how do we do something like that? instead of directly connecting this vent directly to here, what we're gonna do is we're going to take an AND gate, hook it directly into here, and we're gonna be telling the game, hey game, when the vent is closed and Molten Freddy is at the door, you may shut down. And that should automatically turn it off. Now, it would probably only turn off for a brief second, but it should end up resetting the timers. And that's how you do it. Now, what if Molten Freddy is at your door? We need to make it so that he's a threat, so that he can actually kill you. So how do we do something like that? Well, we're gonna put the players on a timer here. We'll put it for about 5 seconds. We'll put it for about 5 seconds here. So, once again, I'll show this off once again. Random time, Molten Freddy takes a random amount of time to get to the vent. He's at the vent, and once he's at the vent, a countdown starts. 5 seconds. The players have 5 seconds to do something, and if they don't do something within 5 seconds, well, we need to give ourselves a little bit of a jump scare room, don't we? So, what we're gonna do is we're going to make a giant black box. Now, of course, you can make a big jump scare statue or something like that if you really wanted to, something advanced. We're just doing this for time's sake. So we're gonna build ourselves a little jump scare room. It can actually be a lot smaller if you want, just as long as it acts basically as a death chamber. And of course, you can play the Five Nights at Freddy's jump scare sounds and whatnot if you really want to. But we're gonna go ahead and do all this. Bring all these into here, just like here, like this. And then finally, we're gonna close this off. I recommend using shadow blocks, but again, just for time's sake, we're doing this how it is. We're gonna go over to events. We're gonna go ahead and set this to death blocks, scoot it over like this, and boom. Now, we just gotta add ourselves, this is actually very simple. This is something that even if you don't use links, you can build. You just build yourself a simple little teleport block. We're gonna move it in once, that it's on the floor. Set it to all people. We're gonna set it to here. Set it to everybody. And now we have it where, just as simply, you take this and you connect it directly in there. But, I want to do one step extra. I want to have it where after this countdown timer has gone off, Molten Freddy drops into your office for a split second, and then the game ends up ending. So I want to do something like that. However, there's a problem. I could normally do something such as, when the timer reaches its end, I could put another half-second timer here, or like a very split-second timer. But there's a problem. If the players manage to press the button within that split second, and it's a small chance, what can end up happening is, they close it, Molten Freddy drops in, and he just sits here. He just has like the biggest Bromo. He just drops in, he's like, and he just sits in the office. He would essentially be stuck in the office, and that's not something we want. It's something we gotta be very careful of. So, how do we fix something like that? Well, it's very easy. Very, very easy. We're gonna build ourselves something I'd like to call a power holder. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna build ourselves a little chamber, and you guys know exactly which NPC this chamber is for. That's right, give it up for the enemy of Ernie C3, aka the Soldier Piggies. And I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and put a Soldier Piggy in this chamber. Now, for those who don't know what a power holder is or how that works, it's very, very simple. Essentially, it's just a Soldier Piggy that is powering a touch trigger. That's it. That's all it is. And of course, and we'll have a trap door here that drops him out, and that way it permanently turns off the touch trigger. So, NPCs, players, infected only, stay on forever after touching, so we got that all set up. We're gonna put the touch trigger inside of there. And then finally, to complete the power holder, we're just gonna put ourselves a little thing here. And then we're gonna get ourselves a NOT gate to keep this trapdoor turned on. And that's how that works. That's how that works. All right, so we have that all set up here. We got that all set up. Now we want to have it to where when this touch trigger gets disabled, Molten Freddy spawns in. All right, so how do we do something like that? Well, the first thing we need to do is once this timer reaches its end, we're going to go ahead and click here, just like this. And that's going to drop out our soldier piggy so that he will no longer be powering this. And also, we're going to hook up a half-second timer so that players are at least able to see Molten Freddy spawn in. So we're going to go ahead and do this, like this, 0.5. And then after 0.5 seconds, we're going to summon them into the death chamber. Now, what this ends up doing is that, let me put that there. There we go. And then we'll add the jump scare sound, stuff like that in a second. But I do want to show this off. So, 5 seconds. You have 5 seconds to do something. And if you don't, it's already too late. This will activate, giving you a half a second to see Molten Freddy drop in. And then after that half second, it'll teleport them into the death chamber. Everybody dies. So, how do we get Molten Freddy to spawn in? So, we need to add ourselves a second chamber. But this second chamber is not for a soldier piggy. It is for Molten Freddy. So we're going to go ahead and build ourselves our little chamber here. Well, we're going to give Molten Freddy his little home here. Yes, we are. So we're going to go ahead and go over to transparency, just like this. Now, we got to go over to trader NPCs. Now, I'm going to give you guys the trader NPC ID for Molten Freddy so that you guys can use them in your map. And remember, this is a permanent trader NPC, which means you guys won't have to use your change your own avatars to make Molten Freddy. This is just a character that you guys can use. You won't have to worry about this Roblox account changing avatars or anything like that. It'll permanently stay as this character. So, hope you enjoy that. So let me go ahead and move him inside the chamber. We don't need a touch trigger inside of here, by the way. We don't need any of that. We're gonna take ourselves a power block, put it under here. And then directly under that, we're going to make this chamber a little bit lower down because right at the very bottom here, we are going to add ourselves, what are we going to add? What are we going to add? We're going to add ourselves a touch trigger. And this touch trigger is going to be responsible for teleporting in the trader NPC. So, everybody, here's the settings you're going to need for this touch trigger. And what we're going to do is we're going to go over and add a teleport block here, just like this. And we're going to make it look like he's falling out of the vent. Now, before we want to merge these, we do want to make sure we change the settings so it looks like this. Just like that. And we want to make sure we link things first. So we're going to link this touch trigger here, like this. Boom. And then now that we're done with that linking, we can move this up. We can move it up just like this. And we won't have to worry about it again. So we're all good. Now, we want to make sure that this funnel gets completely sealed up, so that the Molten Freddy falls directly down into the touch trigger. We won't have to worry about anything like that, or anything else happening. But before we do that, one last step we want to do is we want to make sure we put a NOT gate to keep the floor held until we give it the signal to release. So we got that all set up. We're all good. Okay, so after the half second, we're going to have it where right when this timer is up, we're going to release Molten Freddy so that he drops into the office. That's all set up and ready to go. That's all set up. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I don't think we need this. I don't think we even needed this. No, wait, hold on a second. Everybody, I'm sorry. I lied. I don't think we even needed this. I think we just needed this simple chamber for him to drop down into. Yeah, I apologize. Forget everything. All right, everybody, Men in Black White. Psh, forget everything you just saw. There was nothing there. All right, so I think we're all set up. So let's run through this one more time real quick. So we spawn in here. We're all spawned in. And that sends a signal starting up the sequence. This starts the power, and it chooses a random time. Now, let's just say it randomly chooses 60 seconds. So 60 seconds goes by, blah, 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 and then Molten Freddy's at the door. It'll play the sound effect, and this timer starts right here. It'll start. And a 5-second start, do not believe, wait, what do you mean? What are you talking about? I don't know what you guys are talking about. I'm trying to do hypnosis here. So, once again, random time, Molten Freddy appears at the door, he plays his laugh, and that's when the timer begins. Players have 5 seconds to shut the door. As you guys know, when the vent door is powered and Molten Freddy's at the door, it will restart this whole thing. And if they don't, well, they have a half second for them to see Molten Freddy drop in, and then everyone gets teleported to the death chamber and they instantly die. Now, from what I can tell, this seems like it's gonna work. But let's take a look and see if it actually does. Now, I'm gonna do a little bit of a cheat here. Alright? And normally this won't be visible in game. It won't be visible in game. But I'm gonna put down 3 displays here so that we can see which timer has been activated and how much time is remaining. So let's go ahead and do that. Actually, for simplicity's sake, let's go ahead and have 10 seconds. 12 seconds. And finally, 14 seconds. Now, of course, you're going to want to have it be longer, of course, in your real game, but because we're testing right now, we'll have it be this short, and that'll be fine. Now, we're going to hook it up to all 3 of these displays. Again, these are test displays, just used to see how they work and which random time has been selected. But these won't be visible in the office. Otherwise, that'd be a dead giveaway. There's no reason why you would want something like that. Okay, alright, I'm gonna go ahead and start up the game, and, nobody press anything. Okay, no one pressed anything. Let's take a look and see. Alright, I'm gonna turn up, can't start missing, piggy spawn. Oh, yeah, hold on a second, let me just toss this under the map, like everybody does, and, we're good. Okay, alright, so let me go ahead and do this. You guys should be able to, hear stuff. Let me see. Okay, alright, we're good. Alright, we're good, everybody. Here we go. Here we go. Alright, so let's see which time has been selected. Oh, here we go. It's the first time that I got selected. Alright, everybody, listen for the laugh. Oh, I hear it. 2, 3. Uh-oh, if we don't do anything. You can see he appeared in the office for a half second. Now, we do want him to be visible for a little bit longer. You can see he only appeared for a brief flash. How about we change it to 1 second? So let's go over to the timer here and change it to 1 second instead. And that'll give people a little more time to be able to see him. So you can see, there it is. And I didn't add in the jump scare sound effect, of course. You can see, now this time has been randomly selected. It's a little bit longer. So players have to be actively listening for this laugh. So, take a listen and see if you hear it. You can hear it? They close the vent. Oh, wait, hold on. You can see the vent starts off closed. So how do we fix that? Well, this is unironically the easiest fix you could ever ask for. The only way to fix this, and all you have to do, is literally, it's the easiest thing ever. Deconnect it from here, take a NOT gate, like this, just like this. We'll put it over here, just so that it's separate, and we don't confuse it for anything else. We're gonna take this, connect it to here, and then connect the door to here. That's all we have to do. That way it keeps the door held open, just like this. And that's it. That's all you have to do. Now, I am going to turn up the sound for this laugh to be a little bit higher by putting it up to max distance. For those who don't know, if you increase the distance on a sound block, it also increases the volume. So a little tip and trick there, you know? Okay, all right, so let's see how this goes. So, random time has been selected. It's been the 3rd timer. Okay, you can see here, this dark and eerie vent here. And in just a few moments, you guys will hear Molten Freddy's laugh. Alright. I almost bonked my nose. Good, you close the door. And you can see here, another time has been selected. And them pressing and closing the vent doesn't interfere with the time. There's Molten Freddy's laugh. And you can see, once he's gone, it'll end up selecting, or at least I think it's going to select a random time. Oh, what? Is it not selecting a random time? Wait, what? Oh, this is trippy. Wait, what is happening here? Wait, what is happening here? None of the times restarted. Alright, so, I see an issue here. I see an issue. Some people were spamming the vents. So I have to be, I have to probably add a cooldown here. I probably have to add a vent cooldown. Now, how do you add a cooldown, right? Because while you can increase the press length, people can, as soon as the button comes back to being ready, people can just spam it again. So how do we make it so that there's a cooldown? Well, it's very, very easy actually. So what we're gonna do is we're going to take a half slab, just like this. Plus it's probably wonking up the system. And some people are just, yeah, some people might end up screwing up the system here. But hey, it works! So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take we put a invisible powered block on a half block. Now you can see it's halfway into the wall. That's exactly what we want. Now, we're gonna have it where, how long do we have this for? How about we have it for about, we need to have it where people use this vent very wisely. So how long should the cooldown be for? We should have the cooldown be for about 4 seconds. How about we give it a 4-second cooldown? So what we're gonna do is, you can also hook it up to a power system if you want, but I recommend having a cooldown system just in case. Now, we got the press length all set up. We're gonna go over to a flipper circuit here, or we're gonna build ourselves a flipper circuit. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna put a link up here, a link up here, and you guys are probably familiar with the flipper circuit by now. If not, it's basically something that turns something on and then off rapidly. Connect both of these here, connect this here, and finally connect this here. And we're gonna give this 4 seconds, right about there. Now, this is going to affect the vent, so I may have to directly connect it over to here. Which means I would need to unlink it from here. Actually, wait a minute. I don't think I need to do that. No, I don't need to do that. This is just for the powered block, which would cover up the button, so we won't have to worry about that. So, we press this. This button will activate the flipper circuit, which will keep this block on here for 4 seconds. And it's just that simple. It is just that simple. So, we take this, we move it inside of here, and that should add ourselves a cooldown. So, without further ado, let's see if this ends up working. Okay, so, you can see, random time in the middle has been selected. Let's listen for that molten Freddy laugh. Uh-oh. How are you guys pressing the button? How are you guys pressing the button? Oh, I know why. I know why. Okay, I understand why. What? Did I just get turned into a noob? I just got turned into a noob. Okay, well anyways, I know what's happening here. Can anyone, I'll explain why. You know what, I'm not even gonna ask, I'll explain why. Oh, this is actually really cool. I'll explain why. It's because this is only powering the flipper circuit for 2 seconds. It's only powering it for that long. So, how do we fix something like this? Well, it's very simple. It's very simple. We are gonna need the soldier chamber back once more. Yes, we are. Alright, so I'm gonna build ourselves another soldier chamber. And we're just gonna have the soldier drop into the void here. Because we want it to basically end up dying here. We could put lasers, but this is just a little bit easier. I know this is a bit complex for something as simple as a vent door, but trust me, when you guys make FNAF maps, the thing you guys are not going to want to deal with is cheese. Trust me on that. Having to deal with a bunch of cheese is an absolute nightmare you guys are not going to want to have to deal with. Alright, so we're going to be using something we normally don't use, which is the spawn block. And we're basically treating this as a very simple principle. Alright, so let's go ahead and go over to touch trigger. Do this. We're gonna make sure it's set to soldier piggy settings. So we got all this set up here. And then we're gonna connect this directly to the flipper circuit. Just like that. Now, let me go ahead and do this, just like that. So this is gonna turn this on. This is gonna keep this block powered on here. Just like this. And then it's gonna drop out the block. Which would basically kill the soldier piggy. Now, I want to add ourselves one last area here, which is the glass window. Just like this. Oh, wait. Hold on a second. Hold on. We gotta make sure this touch trigger fits the entire space first. There we go. Just like that. There we go. Okay, so you can see, that's all set up. It's directly powering this. And the button is going to power the spawn block. Now, you guys, can you see the difference now? Can you guys see the difference now? I'll tell you guys what the difference is now. The difference is, the button beforehand was only powering the flipper circuit for as long as the button was staying on. But what if we only want the button to last for 2 seconds and the cooldown to be 4 seconds? How do we do something like that? Well, guess what? Guess what? Guess what? We have a spawn block. Now when we press the button, it will spawn in a soldier piggy that holds down this touch trigger even if the button gets unpressed. That soldier piggy will stay holding down that thing until the flipper circuit drops out the door and it resets the whole process. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that super cool? All right, so now let's see if this ends up working. Let's see. All right, so random time has been selected. It's the third one here. Oh, I love this door animation that you did. Oh, that's super cool. All right, 4, 3. How are you guys still able to press it? Okay, well, you definitely got rid of Molten Freddy there. How are you still able to press it? What? How are you still able to press it? I am absolutely puzzled. What? Third person camera. Yeah, but look here. It still shows the indicator. It still shows the indicator here, which means the block is not there at all. Well, we're gonna do something I like to call debug mode. If you guys ever have links, I highly recommend you do debug mode. And debug mode is essentially something as very simple as you take a link, you take a powered block, any powered block you want, you connect it directly to whatever link you're having confusion about, and then you start the game. So because both of these blocks, both the invisible block and this powered block, are connected to the same thing, we can see how this is looking. Oh, you can see it's enabled now. And now it's gone. Oh, look at this. So it did work. But why did it not reappear? That's the confusing part. That's the confusing part. You can see people are able to spam it now, but why is that the case? So let me see. We press the button, and the cooldown hasn't activated. Oh, I know why. Oh my god, I just realized it. I realized why. You guys ready for this? I forgot something. This is what I forgot to change. You go into spawn block. The limit was only 1. So it was only working once. But now, with it being set to 100, because we can't see this invisible block, we're using this to be able to visually see it in action. All right, let's see. Go ahead and try it now. Now give it a try. So you can see the cooldown is enabled. I can't click on this button at all. And then the cooldown is gone. You can see the cooldown's enabled. And you can see it works. It ends up actually working now. Except some people are able to quickly press it twice for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why. This isn't a major issue that you won't have to worry about too much in a FNAF map because people aren't going to be at a singular event. They're going to be at multiple other places. But I do wonder why some people are able to spam this a little bit. I'll check out your guys' other stuff first. I just got to finish this tutorial first. You can see the vent has been closed. And, yeah, there's an issue here where the timer ends up stopping. But how do we fix something like that? How do we end up fixing it to where the timer doesn't do this? Because you guys will notice here, if you noticed, because the button spammed it, the timer stopped. But what's causing this? What ends up actually causing this? Well, in order to be able to do some inspection, we're going to spawn ourselves directly where the link is. So what I'm going to do is, because we're all on a map and we're all builders here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little hole in the floor here, a little secret escape. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right here, just like this. It'll give ourselves a little bridge so that we're able to see this in action. So we got that all set up here. Now, one last thing I am going to do is I am going to put the 3 little clocks in here so that we're able to actually see. So we'll do that. There we go. So I'll put this one here, and finally this one here. Doing debug stuff like this is going to majorly help out when you're doing links. All right, so let's see what the problem was that was regarding all these. So you can see the game has been started, and What happened? Oh yeah, the timer is running. Why are the timers glowing? So you can see Molten Freddy's at the door. No one's pressing the button though. Guys, you might want to press the button before Molten Freddy gets us. Did you guys get Molten Freddy? Is it not restarting? Oh, this is weird. This is really strange. I've never seen something like this before. The links aren't glowing. What? What? They're not even glowing. Hold on, let me get rid of the fog. Hold on. There we go. This is weird. They're not even glowing. All right, you know what? If they're not gonna glow, I'm gonna force them to glow. All right. I'm gonna force them to glow. I'll put these little lights here, and that way I can link them directly up here, so we can see which one's enabled. See, if I'm gonna have my glowing links one way or the other. I'm gonna have one way or the other, so we can just directly link them up to here. Yeah, if you guys ever have glowing issues or whatever, where the links aren't lighting up, just do this. Just do this, and then it'll fix it. There we go. So we'll have this go here. We won't need this last one to glow because it only appears for so briefly anyways. So we won't need to worry about that. I think we got that set up. Okay, I think we're good. Yeah, I think we're good. I'll put it one. Actually, no, I'm not gonna put it on the randomizer because it might accidentally randomly select the light. We don't want something like that to happen. Okay, all right. So we got that we got that all set up here. So let's see. So it's powering this. How is it powering this? But it's not even lighting up the links? What? Oh, there we go. Okay, it's because the timer wasn't finished counting down yet. Oh, I see. Okay, so everything's working as normal. You can see this countdown timer is still going. So it's randomly selected one of these timers, and then, boom, one of them ends up glowing. So this timer's ticking down right now unless someone closes the vent door. Oh, and Molten Freddy spawned in, and now everybody died. I want you guys to spam the button, because I did see an issue there. I did see an issue. Okay, let me see. Yeah, because there was an issue where the timers end up stopping. I don't know how that ended up happening. How did the timers end up stopping? Okay, so, you can see 5, Molten Freddy is waiting to get inside of the office. And now he's at the office door. Okay, he's right there. Okay, so the vent reset him. So you can see, all the timers are stuck. They're completely stuck. But none of the timers are actually counting down now. This is enabled, so it's definitely powering one of these. So what's happening? What is actually happening here? Something is really, really off here. I made a discovery with power death blocks. Are power death blocks in the game yet or something? I'm a little confused. Probably a link bug. Yeah, this may be a link bug. This may be a link bug because this is definitely unprecedented. I have no idea what's causing this. Let me see. The teleporter is bugged. No, it's not the teleporter. It's something having to do with the timers here. They're not. The timers aren't even counting down anymore. Oh, wait a minute. I think I understand what happened. I think I understand what happened here, everybody. Yep, I understand what happened here. Alright, so I have to do something. I gotta do something here. Hold on. So I think what's happening is this gets enabled and disabled so quickly when it gets disabled that it ends up causing problems. So what you're gonna do now is you're gonna go over and you're gonna build one more chamber. Trust me, this is the last chamber we're gonna do. I'm gonna move this over aside for now. We're gonna build ourselves one more soldier chamber here. One last soldier chamber. And it's basically going to be a repeat of this spawn chamber here. Which means we gotta build this out into the void. Yeah, we gotta build this a little bit out into the void so that it actually drops out of its cage and it actually ends up dying. So, sorry, Soldier Piggy, for putting you through so much trouble. But you've already put me through a lot more. A lot more. Years more of it. Alright, so I'm going to move this glass thing for aside for a second. We're going to take a link. So again, we're building this the same way we built these other things. I'm going to take a powered block, just like this. I'm going to put it here. I'm gonna take another, let me see. Actually, you know what? Let's take this. And we're gonna put it here. We're gonna put that, actually, wait, hold on a second. Yeah, we're gonna keep this here. I'm a little bit confused. Wait, hold on, never mind. All right, so we're gonna keep that powered block there. Now, for this touch trigger, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure it's optimized for soldier piggies, which means we set it to these settings. So we got that. It's all set up and ready to go. And of course, we gotta get ourselves a spawn block. We can't make the same mistake that we made last time, and we gotta make sure that it's actually set to where we can have 100 soldier piggies. Max cap at least. Okay, so we're gonna move this into here just like that. So we got that all set up. Now we're gonna connect this directly to the AND gate, and we're going to unlink this link hub right here. Unlink it from this AND gate. We're gonna disconnect it from this AND gate here. So right now, what does the AND gate have? It only has where it's connected directly to the button, and it's connected to this soldier chamber. Now, if you're wondering what this soldier chamber is for, don't worry, I'm gonna explain it. But first I gotta do this stuff. Okay, so let me take a look and see. Let me see. Still haven't got my toilet paper. It's been an hour. What is this, 2020? What are you talking about? What are you even talking about? Ernie, I found a bug in build mode. If Piggy has the mousetrap or spider trap, that's gonna activate the trigger block. That could be an interesting mechanic, actually. But yeah, it could also lead to a lot of cheesing. No pun intended, because of the mice. Anyways. Okay, so we're gonna have it where this link hub spawns in a soldier piggy into this chamber. We're gonna have it spawn in and stay sitting there. That's gonna work out. And we have this directly connected to here, so we won't have to worry. Now, we do want to have it where when this goes off, we want to make sure that this pitfalls the soldier piggy. So in order to be able to do something like that, we're going to take a NOT gate right here, and we're gonna hold this door open, hold the floor until we make it pitfall out, just like this. There we go. So we got that all set up here. Again, I'll explain what this is for in a second, but bear with me here. So we got it. So Molten Freddy comes at the door. Soldier Piggy spawns into the chamber and touches the touch trigger, which will activate the AND gate. And if players close the vent door, it'll basically drop out the Soldier Piggy and it'll reset. So what is this supposed to be for? This is probably the most confusing part of the build. I understand. And I'll get to that in just a second here. But first, let's make sure it works. First, let's make sure it actually works. So let's take a look and see here. Okay, so first, one of the random times has been selected, so that's good to see. All right. I recommend not spamming the door just in case, though. Okay, so 2, 1. Molten Freddy's at the door. Close the door. Close it. Okay, there we go. So wait. And there we go. Okay, so the timer's do reset. So it does end up working now. So we got that all set up and good to go. Okay, I'm really glad. So Molten Freddy's gonna come back at the door. Okay, he's at the door again. So we're gonna close this. Timer reset. Next random timer goes. So we got it working. Yeah, we got it working now. So you see, when Molten Freddy gets to the door, Soldier Piggy spawns in. And what's gonna happen? If Molten Freddy got to the door. So there it is. So yeah, if you end up closing the door, it drops him out. So here's the thing. I'll explain what this ends up doing. And this is really important. I mean, you don't have to hear this part, but it is actually very important. So what was happening was, because this AND gate was disabling this, despite the fact that this was needing it to power on, it was only flickering it on for a very brief second, which was bugging out the timers. However, spawning in a Soldier Piggy keeps it in here even if this gets undone. So they press the button, this gets undone, the Soldier Piggy just drops out without any kind of the flickering problems or anything like that. So it's really useful. Really useful stuff. And ladies and gentlemen, let me go ahead and delete these timers because we don't need them to be visible anymore. And ladies and gentlemen, there is your Molten Freddy tutorial. You got yourself a grand banging good time here. Yes, you do. With the Molten Freddy from Ultimate Custom Night, you know, really cool stuff. You guys, also, we need to check out and see what our builders are doing right now on the rest of this FNAF build, because I'm pretty sure they're doing some great stuff right now. Okay, all right, so aside from that, we got ourselves a real working Molten Freddy. All right, I'm gonna do one last test so we can see if Molten Freddy pops out. We can make sure that he's properly popping out where people can see him. So, no one press the button. No one press the button. No one press it. Nobody press. Nobody press the button. Let's see if Molten Freddy appears out of the vent. Okay, so we hear his laugh. Okay. Is he gonna pop out? Oh, I didn't see it. Wait, what? Oh, no. Wait, did someone walk into my avatar? I think someone walked into my avatar and it blinded me. All right, you know what? Regardless, I'll just increase it by like half a second more, just in case. Okay, let's try this one more time. Also, we can seal this up now. Let me go over to blocks. There we go. Okay, all right. Let's see Molten Freddy actually pop out here. All right, let's see that finished result. Let's see the finished result here. So Molten Freddy crawling through the vent. Don't press the button. Don't press it. Okay. Wait for it. And there he is! He pops out of the vent and boom, everybody instantly dies. That is amazing. That is amazing. Again, this is the first time I'm building it too, but I had the idea in mind on how to build it. But it's so cool to be able to see it in execution. And being able to build this in your map, dude, people are going to be amazed. Hope you use it. I really do. Okay, all right. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what everyone else has built too. So I'm going to go ahead and fly around. Ooh, I like this stage. I like how small it is, but I love the details here too. You got like nice looking curtains here as well. And the designs here too. I didn't expect you guys to be using actual like detailing and stuff like that too. Oh, look at this. Oh, this looks really nice. This looks really, really nice. Oh, you guys are doing such a good job. You know what? I'm going to save this. I'm going to save this in a test slot. Maybe we can continue working on this another time. But you guys are doing some really amazing stuff. And I'll keep you guys on the team builder list and stuff like that too. But let me go ahead and try this out. Let me see some of your guys' stuff. All right, show me around real quick. Show me around. Show me around. Because I already did see the door. I already did see the door. The actual door animation, and it looks amazing. It looks so good. It looks really, really good. Let me take a look and see. Ernie, your smart piggy links. Hey, thank you. Thank you. I love using links so much because there's just... Oh God, no. Oh God, no. I'm so glad I saved. Holy crap. I am so glad I saved. Loading bug. Where everybody, it's the loading bug. Ring, 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 ring. Who knows what causes it, but it's back again. Thank God I saved. Okay, let me rejoin real quick. Hold on. I saved. Don't worry, guys. I saved the map. Everyone, you can rejoin. I have to shut down the server, though. But I saved the map, so we're all good. Thank God, you know. I was like, man, this looks so good. I'd hate for it to get deleted. So let me save it. Loading bug. Dude, we're playing Five Nights at Loading Bug here. You know, the loading bug was at our vent. He was ready to jump out at us upon the next game start. And I was on top of that. I closed that vent, you know. All right, so I shut down the server. So it should be able to reboot the server and make everything clean here. We should be good. Okay, all right, let me load this back in. All right, test. Yeah, I don't ever use autosave. I always rely on saving manually just to make sure. I've had so many people who have been like, oh my God, I lost my entire map and stuff like that. That's why I double save. I got like, look at this. Look at this, look at this. I got like Death Run Park Backup, Scale Spire Backup, and I just save back and forth between the slots. That way both are up to date, and that way I won't ever have to worry about like saving over a slot or not saving or anything like that. I got it secured. Yeah, I do. Okay, let me take a look and see. Let me see. Wait, even if the loading bug happens, wouldn't the map still be an autosave? It doesn't, yeah, but it wouldn't save it in full. Like, it doesn't save super often anyway, so if you made some recent changes, they're definitely not going to be there. Especially if you forget what the recent changes are, too. Okay, alright, let's actually play test this and see how this looks. Alright. Okay, alright, let's take a look and see. So, close the doors. Look how good that looks! Dude, look how good this looks! Okay, alright. Press the button again. Here, let me press it. That's so cool. That is so cool. I love this. If I was to give some critique, though, oh, we didn't close the door from, Molten Freddy. Yeah, hey, listen, I want to look around the pizzeria, but I don't want to die either. I guess I could disable Molten Freddy. Yeah, let me disable Molten Freddy real quick. So, if I wanted to disable Molten Freddy, I just go to the start link here and unlink. Actually, you know what? No. I'll just disable it by going to the starting link and doing that. That's all I have to do. Okay, alright, let me go ahead and do this. There we go. Alright, let's see. So yeah, if I were to give some criticism here for the door, it looks like the door appears in. So it looks like it's a little bit hard to describe. But instead of the door looking like it's coming down, it just looks like each part of the door appears, right? Because you'll notice that the bottom part of the door is this yellow part here. So you would expect the yellow part to come down each part, and then following along that would be the gray part, right? Does the door lift back up, or do we press the button again? Oh, there we go. Okay, we do that. So you can see the door, the yellow part appears at the very bottom. But this still looks really good. I really like how this ends up looking here. Oh yeah, make sure you guys close the vents and stuff like that. Make sure, oh wait, we don't have to worry about it. No, we're good. Oh, look at that! We got the animatronic crew on stage here. Now, you can see that they are wandering around a little bit. You can see they're kind of wandering a little bit aimlessly here. Now, if you did want to fix that, all you would have to do is you would put them... Oh, they're on trader mode. Oh, crap. Yeah, they're on trader mode. You can see they are inside of their own barriers. They're inside of invisible barriers here. However... Are they not on trader mode? Maybe they are if you get way too close to something like that, but that still looks really suspicious. That looks very suspicious. Oh yeah, you can see. Oh my god! Freddy Fazbear just took a right hook to his face. Let me see. Wait, hold on. How did you end up dying? Let me see. Wait. Is there a way to get inside? How are you guys? Okay, yeah, you guys try and die to Freddy Fazbear. Go up to him. See if you guys can, I didn't even see him pull out a knife. That's the thing, I didn't even see him pull out a knife. Anyways, aside from that, you can see that they're wandering around here. If you did end up wanting to fix that, you could put down a patrol point. Because I actually don't know why they're wandering around like this. But you could put down a patrol point where they're standing, and it'll force them to stand still. So, for example, I'll show you guys right now. Hold on. So right here, you can see they're inside of here and they have nowhere to go. And in order to be able to make them stand still, you can put a patrol point here. So you just take a patrol point like this, and you put it like this. And that'll get them to stand still. Also, these are permanent barrier blocks, which I recommend you instead use powered barrier blocks so that you can turn them on or off. You can at least have this first one be a powered version. Have at least the first one be a powered version. That way you can release the animatronics and they can wander around the facility. Let me go ahead and do this. There we go. Just like that. Yeah, there we go. So, when the game starts, you know what? Just for simplicity's sake, let's go over to our starting touch trigger. I'll put a little clock here, right under where the animatronics are. Right about here. Normally you would have the animatronics leave the stage one at a time. Just for simplicity's sake, though, I'll have them all leave the stage at 10 seconds. So we're going to take our starting link. Remember, when the players spawn in, we are going to start this timer. And when the timer starts, we are going to release the barriers. Now, because we're going to be releasing the barriers, we're going to have this hooked up to a NOT gate and connected to all these. Because we're going to be keeping those barriers closed until the timer reopens them up. So we got that all set up. Cool. Awesome. All right. So, wait a minute. Where are the patrol points? Wait, what? Where are the patrol points? Is there not a patrol point here or something? Did someone not put them in or something? Hold on, let me put them in. Yeah, because I saw someone put a patrol point down. I thought they were gonna put them in or something. All right, there we go. Cool. All right, we're good, everybody. We're good. We're good. All right. Oh, I didn't save. Is it gonna be loading bug time? Yeah, I think it's gonna be loading bug time. Oh man, why? All right, I think you guys get it though. I think you guys get it.